Hey guys, welcome back to the cockpit of the 777 by PMDG. I'm James, and what I want to show you today is how to install an approach, how to fly an instrument approach, specifically a ILS approach. So this is probably the standard approach mode of a 777, the ILS. There are other types of approaches, VOR, NDBs. You're even getting into GPS approaches or RNAV approaches, but for now the standard on 777 is the ILS. So that's why I'm doing an ILS video today. Right now I'm holding in a holding pattern over Tango Fox November VOR, which is the initial approach fix. It is the IAF for the ILS runway 30 into Tenerife North Airport. So in the description of this video you've got the approach chart, and you see there is a published approach which starts at Tenerife North VOR. There's also a published holding pattern which I'm flying now. Its inbound track is 178 and left turns. The holding altitude is 6,000 feet, so you see I'm holding at 6,000 feet, 240 knots. Inbound course is 178. Okay, actually you're going to see the runway. Let me move. There's the airport right there. See, that's the airport. So we want to land on runway 30. Okay, what I'm going to follow on this video is the AIRBAG acronym, and AIRBAG, A-I-R-B-A-G, stands for ATs: install the approach, radios, briefing, approach and descent checklist, and go around procedure. Okay, so that's 6 steps I'm going to go through, and I'm going to go through that while I'm holding over the VOR, and then I'm going to fly the approach and show you how it's done. Okay, so the first thing is the ATs. I'm flying with active sky next. Let's tune the 122.0 frequency. It's tuned there on the right VHF receiver. So let's turn the mic on, the volume on.
Golf, Charlie, X-ray, Oscar, airport information, Charlie, 1200, Zulu, weather, wind, 305, at 16, visibility, 10, sky condition, ceiling, 2000, broken, temperature, 16, 2.10, QNH, 1018, advise on initial contact that you have information, Charlie.
Okay, so that's the ATs provided by Active Sky. QNH wind is 305 at 16, within limits, and pretty nicely aligned. There's a slight crosswind, but not much, not anything we cannot handle. QNH 1018, a ceiling at 2000, temperature 16, so that's that. It's weather is okay. So let's set the QNH on the standby altimeter as well, 1018. So that's the first part of the airbags, that's the A. So install the approach. Install the approach, we're going to the FMC. Delete. Lex page, we are holding over Tango Fox November. So go to departures arrivals page, index, route 2. You see I have a route 1 and route 2. This is from the previous flight. Imagine you're flying from Tenerife North to Madrid, and on the second route you've installed it in case you had to flow back into the airport. So that's my case. Departure Tango Fox November, and arrival the same. So I'm going to go ahead and select runway 30, ILS runway 30, and the transition Tango Fox November VOR. That's the initial approach fix. Execute. Go to legs page. You see there is, I'm holding here Tango Fox November, route discontinuity, Tango Fox November, and hold. So it's the same. You can bring it up to the scratch pad, this point over here, and bring it right there. So it's actually the same. And close the discontinuity. Let me show you on map mode how it looks like. So that's the Tango Fox November VOR. If I step, that's a waypoint D117 Lima, and a series of waypoints. Then there's CI, FI, the runway, and the missed approach procedure. See the aircraft is here turning to the inbound track of the traffic pattern. Okay, but that's not everything. I want to, if you've seen my previous video, I also want to tune my Nav Aids. For that I'm going to refer to the approach chart, and to this view, bring that over there. So what I'm going to do is going to nav rat. You see Tango Fox November is tuned. I'm going to manually tune it. Tune it on both receivers. It's the, you go to the chart on the also referring to Lima Romeo Oscar. That's the other VOR you'll be using on this approach. So Lima Romeo Oscar, not that important, but we'll use that as well. And as of ADFs, the ADF we will be using is a Foxtrot PAPI, which has a frequency of 420, and that one will use it for the go around procedure in case we have to execute one. The ILS automatically tuned 110.3 and inbound course 2907. The chart points at a course of 2907, and here it's 2906. I think that might be a disagreement with my navigation information on FSX. Maybe it's not completely up to date, but that's not too bad. 1 degree difference. We're gonna be doing the touchdown. Gonna hand fly the final approach segment anyway. Okay, so I want to look at the chart and see what the procedure is actually. So leaving the Tango Fox November VOR frequency 117.7, you're going to be leaving it on the outbound radial 117. So I'm going to input 117 on course, and you see he drew me the 117 radial out of Tango Fox November VOR. Okay, you go to VOR mode, you can see the course deviation indicator, course 117 right there. Back to plan mode. So I'm also gonna go to fix page, and the first fix, gonna input Tango Fox November VOR, which is my VOR, and here I'm going to again put 117-10, 12th DME arc, because we're gonna be flying on 117 until we reach the 12th DME arc, then fly that arc into the ILS, to the localizer from runway 30. Okay, if I scale up a bit, you see the arc, and that matches nicely the magenta line drawn by the FMC. So you verified it's working. So, okay. So that's installing the approach. The radios are tuned. Let's identify them. Gonna identify left VOR, Tango Fox November VOR. That's that. Right VOR, Lima Romeo Oscar. And Foxtrot Papa NDV. That's that. And let's identify the ILS. There you go. So all radios are tuned and identified. Left something on, let's see what's... Also, other than that, you want to set your minimums. We are using barometric minimums today. The minimum on the chart, your class Delta aircraft, is 2454, 2454 feet. Takes a while. $2,400 and 54. So on flat path vector, I'm gonna do the same. On the second officer's side. Auto brake 1. We are very light today and the runway is pretty long, good weather, no need for more than 1. Approach reference. You're gonna use flaps 30, the approach speed 143 plus 5, so 148. And fix something I also like to do sometimes, if it doesn't clutter my navigation display too much, I draw the minimum sector altitude, which is provided by any approach chart, uses a minimum sector altitude, and it draws a 25 nautical mile circle around the reference VOR. In Tenerife North, I like to use it because there's very high mountains surrounding the airport. So it's nice to draw the actual 25 nautical mile using the bearings provided by the MSA. So 114 at 25, 114 plus 180. You'll be using 2904, 25 there, and 328 minus 180 is 148 dash 25 there. So this basically it's a pie. You've drawn a pie on your navigation display. On this segment of the pie, you have to be above the minimum sector altitude is 14,500 feet, and on this segment here, the minimum sector altitude is 6,500 feet. but we are on the holding pattern. On the holding pattern, minimum altitude is 6,000 feet. We are safe using the holding pattern altitude published on the chart. So that's how you install your approach. The briefing, to brief the approach, we're flying the ILS localizer runway 30. ILS frequency is 110.3, identified. The final approach course is 2907. Decision altitude is 2,454 feet. Airport elevation is 2,077 feet. Runway elevation 2,007 feet. The missed approach procedure calls for a straight ahead climb direction Foxtrot Papa NDV, and then climbing on heading 2907 to 5,500 feet, then turn right direct to the Tango Fox November VOR and hold at 6,000 feet or above. So the missed approach altitude you have to set on the MCP after arming the approach mode is 6,000 feet. That's something very important many people forget. Even actual pilots sometimes forget it. That's the briefing. Now we do the checklist, approach checklist. Descent, we recall. No science. Note checked auto brake is 1, landing data VREF is 148, minimums 2,454 feet, approach briefing completed. Descent checklist completed. Approach checklist altimeters 110, 1018, 1, 2 and 3 times. Is checked. Now I'll leave the landing checklist sort of armed. Turn the multifunction display off. So we've reviewed the go around procedure as well. Going around, you climb direct to the Foxtrot Papa NDB, which is also tuned and identified here. Good, we're flying the passenger version of the 777, not the cargo version, which has no NDB capability. And now I'm going to exit the hold and fly the approach itself. To exit a hold, you go to the hold page, exit hold. Let's look outside. Nice weather today. Some clouds, but it's okay. And execute it. I'm going to slow down to the flaps maneuvering speed, which is 2 to 3 knots. (117) You see I'm turning out into the radial 118, there's my radial, correction 117, and descending to 5,000 feet, as instructed by the chart. Overshooted the radial a bit. I'm flying on heading select. It's okay to fly on heading select. So the key to descending is when you get the altitude capture message on the FMA, you select the next lower altitude, and when you have an altitude message on the FMA, you open the vertical speed and window and check for zeros. So that way you have your next altitude sort of armed to be able to lower it to descend using the vertical speed. We'll do the turn at 5,000 feet, and I'm going to go ahead and click flaps 5, lower for the flaps 5 maneuvering speed, 143 knots. See our radial where it is. There we are. On the 7th mile out. Now let the LNAV handle it again. So altitude, the next lower altitude is 4,300 feet. V speed, check for zeros. .188. You see there's a maximum speed at 185 during the turn. So now imagine we've been cleared for the approach. The magic word is whatever your call sign, say Emirates Echo Whiskey Bravo, cleared for the ILS runway 30, contact tower 118.7, goodbye. Once you are cleared for the ILS, you are allowed to hit the approach, to arm the approach mode on the autopilot, not before. So let me arm that. Now you see localizer and glide slope are armed on the flight mode annunciator. Localizer mode engaged. Move to localizer mode. Flaps 15. And flaps 15 maneuvering speed plus 10. I think it's a good speed. Descend to 4,300, the cloud slope intercept altitude. Can see map mode and the localizer mode. You can use whichever mode you want because the ILS is also on the primary flight display. I like to fly my ILS raw data, not actually raw data, but one pilot using the map and the other using the ILS. I like using the ILS sometimes. Still cannot see the runway. Great weather provided by active Skynex. So let's arm the speed brake. You see the altitude, final altitude is there. Now we select the missed approach altitude, 6,000 feet. Our missed approach altitude, very important not to forget this. Glide slope is alive, gear down, flaps 20. Flaps 30. VREF, V approach is 148. Verify the glide slope. Engages, glide slope engaged. So now we are fully established on the ILS, runway 30. And there you see the airport, nice and clean. This is Santa Cruz de Tenerife, my hometown. So the landing checklist. Speed brake is armed, landing gear is down, flaps 30. I also check the auto brake is 1, and the missed approach altitude is set 6,000 feet. Since this is not a category 2 or 3 ILS, I'm going to disconnect the auto throttle first and hand fly this bird down onto the ground. So adjust my view. Auto throttle is coming off.
2500.
Autopilot is coming off. Feel the turbulence. Active sky next.
Approaching minimums. Minimums.
Continue. You see the PAPI disagrees with the glide slope. That's not unusual.
$500. $150. 40. 30. 20. 10.
Down, reverse thrust, speed brake deployed. 60 knots. Manual braking. Not a very good landing. It's always difficult for me to land this aircraft. I'm used to flying smaller aircraft like the 737, and I'm quite not used to landing this. Just a bad excuse. But yeah, it should have flared earlier. You think you are still well above the runway. You touch down and you're thinking, wow, did I touch down already? So I like to just taxi out of the runway, vacate the runway, and once I'm completely clear of the runway, I start retracting the flaps, the speed brake, turning the auto brake off, and doing everything you need to do. Off, some pilots reset the flight directors already, turn them off, turn the lights, landing lights off, runway turn off lights off, strobe lights off, and taxi into the gate. So that was my ILS tutorial. Hope you liked it. You're free to comment, and happy flying. Bye bye.